Hello and welcome. In this video, we will talk about investigation report writing or report writing. So, when we have to write any report, let it be investigation report, protocol report, validation summary report, or any report, in risk assessment report. So, what is the best way to write the reports? Many times we encounter with lot of problem with the report writing just because our writing is not proper, the message is not properly conveyed. The reader, the auditor is not able to understand what we are trying to say because our report is not that well written, the sequence of the content is not well written, the language sometimes is not well written, or the message what we want to convey is not practically emerges out of your written report. So how we can write a proper report? Report can be anything. As I said, any report, how best we can write the proper report. So there are few important things which we have to consider while in report writing. So let's talk about what are the important things about the report writing. The first is, what is the objective of your report? It can be investigation, it can be OS, it can be risk assessment, it can be validation summary report, it can be your process validation report, it can be your cleaning validation report. So in objective, clearly define, clearly mention that this report is for this specific product, this specific process, this specific equipment, this specific risk assessment. Clear and simple terms, write what is the objective of the report. Many times the objective is not very clear, and what is written into the objective and what we are mentioning into the report, they exactly not correlate. For example, if you are writing an assessment report to reduce the, I will say, the cycle time, to reduce the cycle time, for example, of certain cleaning procedure. So what we are, instead of mentioning as reducing cycle time, the title will be optimization of the cleaning process or revision of the cleaning process. It's not about the revision or optimization, it's about the reducing the cycle time. So specifically mention that this report is to provide a rational justification for cycle time reduction for the cleaning process. Same goes for the investigation, same goes for the other report. So your objective should be very clear in terms of report writing. First step. Second step is your report writing language. So writing language should be very simple English. Don't go for the fancy words, don't go for the jargons. See, putting jargons, putting fancy word will not impress anybody. It will not impress at least the auditor. Inspectors or auditors are not here, or not coming to understand, not coming to assess your English knowledge. They are coming to assess your technical knowledge. So in technical report, fancy words, jargon English is not required. Put very simple English, very basic English, that's okay. What we want to convey, that English only should be put as a investigation writing method or our language. Third part is, what should be the length of a paragraphs, what should be the length of the sentences. So in a report we have to put lot of things, right? But don't put bulky paragraphs, 10 line paragraphs, 15 line paragraphs. That bulky paragraphs will not be easy for the reader to read, and you may miss very critical piece of information within that entire paragraph. For example, you written 10 line paragraphs and there are two sentences which are very important into that 10 line paragraph. So if it is not properly highlighted or not properly segregated, then the reader can miss the specific two sentences which we wanted to convey out of the paragraph. So put 2 lines, 3 lines, different sentences, and highlight the message, or put bold fonts for the specific message which is practically important for that paragraph or the report. Next point is, use graphs, use tables, use flowchart, use diagram to clearly explain the process. If if the process is very complex, or if it is very lengthy, then writing long paragraphs or writing the sentence will not help to better understand the process. So put diagrams, put flowcharts. If it is a complex process, put a stepwise instruction or stepwise boxes. The first is this step, second is this step, third is this step. That way it will be very easy for the reader to understand what is the process. If there is too much of data, like batch 1 data, batch 2 data, batch 3, rather than describing, put into the table. And if you want to highlight something, that specific value either should be kept bold or give a different color or different highlighting to that specific boxes or section of the values which you want to specifically highlight in your report. Graphs, for example, if you want to show certain trend, for example, you are including stability data in report and you want to say that there is a decrease in the assay trend, so put graph that it will clearly show that the values are going down. In tabular format, the same data, reader may not understand what we are trying to say, or even if you say that there is a decreasing trend of the assay values by in the stability studies, but from graph it is very difficult to make it out. But if you put into the graphical format, it will be very easy for the reader to understand. Diagrams, for example, if you have very complex machine or complex process, if you put it in a diagram format, then the person will easily understand, yes, this is this. For example, if I have to describe a steam engine, okay, I can write it has so many pistons, so many, it has a boiler, it has a storage for the coal, it has a burning mechanism, the steam is going out from the top. If I write 1000 words, the person may not imagine or cannot imagine how it looks like. But if you put a picture of steam engine, it will be very easy for the person to understand, yes, this is like a steam engine, or how the steam engine looks like. This is just a simple example, but you can use in your report writing where necessary, put photographs to clearly mention. For example, if you want to show a specific location of your machine, okay, in this specific location it is very difficult to clean, or in this very specific location person cannot reach through gloves. If you write, the reader may not understand, but if you put a photograph with the person finding it difficult to reach that location, then it is very clear that yes, this location is difficult to reach. So that way it will be very easy for the reader to understand what we are trying to convey. Next step is avoid repetitive information. So what happens many times in report, that same information we put into the first part of the section, same report we put into the details of the investigation, same details we put into the executive summary, and same information into the conclusion. So if you put similar information 4 times in a document, then there are chances that if you are correcting somewhere, or while review somebody finds that this specific value here is not correct, and if you correct that at that place, and if you forget to correct 3 other places where you already placed those values, then it will be a mismatch and reader will understand that nobody reviews your report. So avoid putting same information at multiple times into the report. We have very strong inclination to write a very lengthy report, like 20 pages. I have seen reports starting from 10 pages up to 80 pages or 100 pages. So 100-page report is nobody is going to review, and if you are putting so much of data same data multiple times, and there are very high chances that the incorrect value at one place if you correct, but you may forget to correct those value at other places, and it will make your report non-compliant. It will give very bad image to the reader, to the auditor, that the person or the people within the organization are writing the report, but they are not thoroughly reviewing the report. Next part is uses of names. For example, if you are writing a product name, then say the product name should be same at all the places into the report. Sometimes what happens, you write XYZ injection, in some place you will write XY injection, certain milligram per ml, at certain you will write XYZ only, you don't forget to write the injection. Don't put that way. Keep the same name at each and every place you write. If you are writing equipment name, then take the equipment name from your equipment master list. Don't write the name which you are daily calling it. For example, if there is a tablet compression machine and you are calling it tablet compression machine XYZ, then it has to be tablet compression machine XYZ at every place into the report. Somewhere you write compression machine, somewhere you write tablet compression machine, somewhere you write compression machine XYZ, somewhere you write full name tablet compression machine XYZ. That is not the proper way to write the names of the equipment into the system in your report. Pick a single name from your master list and use that name only in your entire report whenever you are writing that name. Third part is, if it is an investigation report, then it has to be in past tense, because the thing is already happened. If it is a process validation report, it is in past tense because your validation is complete. This is the report. So any of such reports should always be written in a past tense, like it happened. Is or are is not the proper word. Was done, it have been done, was carried out are the proper word. Is done is not the proper word, is being done is not a proper word. So this way I am just giving the hint, but it should be in past tense. Your entire report should be into the past tense. Next important part is the exact message, what you want to convey in your report. Practically you should cover that in your first 2 to 3 pages, or you may put an executive summary at the beginning of the report, 1 page executive summary. So what this whole report is about, so that after reading in that 1 page you give the gist of the entire report, the very crux of the entire report. If it is investigation report, simply put that this was my incident, this was my investigation, this was my root cause, this was my kappa. If it is process validation summary report, you put I have done the process validation for these 3 batches, all the data are correct, there are 2 exceptions or 2 deviations which were investigated and justified, there is no impact, and this is my conclusion, this is my outcome. So in that first 1 or 2 pages, the reader will understand. The next lengthy report, what is that in next lengthy report? So if he want to go, he'll read the entire report. If it is satisfied with your executive summary, then that report can be done and dusted at that place only. Because if the person is, the reviewer don't have any much of the time, especially the inspector, when we are coming for the investigation, they don't have that much of time to review all your 100 or 100 page report. So executive summary will help to understand. Now steps of the report. Sections. So sections will be as per your SOP, your site SOP. Strictly adhere to those sections, but don't have affinity or don't put lot of information inside the report. If the information is too much, for example 20 batches data, if you are going to include 20 batches data into the report will be very lengthy. You can just divert to the attachment, provide data as an attachment, and just mention the gist or just mention the conclusion of the data available into the report. So if data is required, there always be there attachment for the data. So we can say we are not falsifying it, we are providing the data, but since the data is so lengthy, we are including the data into the as an attachment, and outcome of that data review is we are including as a conclusion into the report. So that way we can compress the report by putting the some of the data which are very lengthy into the as an attachment rather than putting into the report itself. Next is your clear grammar. So I not say that we have to be grammar expert, but basic English should be very clear. The sentences should be very clear, and there should not be any grammatical mistakes or spelling mistakes. Grammatical mistake and spelling mistakes, if the reader is well versed with the English or his mother tongue is English, then it gives a very negative impression that you are not giving utmost importance or any importance to the proper writing of your report. So your English should be very basic and correct English, so that it will prevent any grammatical error or spelling errors. So hope this short discussion will help you to understand how we can write better report. You provide your comments or concerns or any queries, so in my comment section of the video, so that if required I can prepare another video to clarify the specific queries. Hope this helps you. Thank you very much for watching my full video.